ba, ba, ba. I love this being able to pop out the chat. What's up, Jane?
Hello, James.
What's up, Jeff? What's up, Todd?
Good. All right. All right.
Happy Monday to you as well. Good. Tired. My kid woke me up at 2:30. I woke up at 1:30 a.m. with the worst heartburn, and once I am up, I have a terrible time getting back to sleep. So I was up for like 3 hours last night in the middle of the night. I literally just lay in my bed with my eyes closed, hoping that I will eventually fall asleep.
Oh, jeez.
It's the worst.
That melatonin or something, man.
Ah, man, that'll mess me up.
You don't like melatonin?
I really just need to get up and just like go work out or something, you know? Like, so what? I work out at 2 in the morning and then I just go to sleep for 4 more hours.
I run in the dark. It's the only time that it's not 110
I know, 90-minute
degrees.
run last night. Congratulations, you didn't die.
Yeah, I didn't die. 90
Advil
minutes.
PM.
You know,
No, thank you. I will be messed up for the rest of the day.
what?
Taking Advil PM just to try and get to sleep in the middle of the night.
Yeah. You know what the problem is with the running is that the app assumes that I am tall. And it's like, your 90-minute run will be approximately 8 miles. And I'm like, good try. But it was 6.23.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
I wonder what size they assume you are.
well,
The
long story short, the problem is you could run faster. Like, you could push harder so each stride is further. But that's going to wear
why do you
you
want
out.
to do that?
That's like somebody who has, like, who's tall and not short like me. Like, then they would, if they did that, they would be running 10 miles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
I need the app to figure, it needs to ask, like, how tall are you? How long is your stride? It's things like that. So you can actually have an accurate representation. So I think we're good to go here. What?
Yeah, let's start. Start rolling.
I'm rolling. I am rolling. Check
I
1 2.
am rolling now.
Check. 1 2 1 2. You're hearing
Episode 243 is a go.
243.
That is a lot of episodes.
That is a lot.
Man. So if we're averaging 2 hours per episode, how many hours do we need to go? How many hours are in a year? Like, how many shows would we need to do?
I've done the calculation for the.
Yeah, we're at like 16 days, right?
It's something like, we're probably closer to 3 weeks now, but yep. Pedro's here. What's up, Pedro?
Yeah, let's see.
This episode's for you, Pedro.
We're at like 20 days.
20 days.
20 and a half days.
Without stopping, man.
So you could listen to us. It would take you 20 and a half days.
And you'll hear all about us complaining that Octane 3 isn't out yet, all the way to now.
Right.
It's a long way.
So half of those episodes will be about that.
Yeah,
and then,
that's true.
All
right, I think we're good.
But that was a bad time. That was a bad time in the render wars.
Yeah, it was.
For all of us, I think.
All right, let's do a sync clap, and we'll get going.
Yes.
It'll be 1 2 3 clap. 1 2 3. Cool. Ching indeed. All right, I think we're good. Got my notes. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Dude, have you ever hit Bean's TikTok?
No.
It's amazing.
I'm
amazing.
not gonna trust your judgment on TikToks.
No, it's just you don't like any of the stuff that I send you from TikTok.
You've had one or two gems, like the one where the guy types in, he's telling Siri, like, what do you want my name to be? And he's like, A-H-A-H-A-H-H-H-H-H. Yeah. You want me to call you Yeah, that was a good one. Other than that, everything you send me, it's like I pick up my phone and I view the TikTok and I go like this. Like
I've tried getting it twice, 2 times.
Oh man,
both of those times I've noted that really quickly.
Oh, TikTok is like I send you, the thing is I send you the weird stuff, the stuff that I think is like really weird and funny.
A seagull moving his legs up and down to like some music. I'm like, okay.
That was good. That was a good one.
All right, let's do this. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us all the way from Spain, Rolando Barry.
Hello.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, ideas, guest ideas. Come on, bring it up. Bring it. Email us. Email us. What do you want to hear on the show? Who do you want to hear? Who should we be wearing? Whom should we be wearing on the show as a guest? Which guest should we wear? Which guest is best? False. So anyway, this week it was a good week. We had oh, you know what? Let's jump straight to the email real quick. Samuel.
Sure.
Samuel. Clarification. Yes. Breaking news. We've got breaking news. Tutorial update.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun show. I'll tell you what.
What's the update? Because I didn't understand the email because I haven't watched your tutorial.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So the question was, and we're still trying to figure out what the issue is. On the sculpting tutorial series that I did, I show when you're using brushes and stuff when you're using the content browser. Inside the content browser, there are a bunch of like brush presets that you can use, And so the question was, Samuel, anytime he would click on the brush preset, it wouldn't automatically load it into the correct like pull or repeat or stamp or whatever,
Okay.
which is weird that it's not working like that, So he said he is on a Mac. I don't know if anyone who is on a Mac wants to check this to see if maybe that's the issue.
That'd be
nice. He said he was on the newest version, S22.
Maybe
so
it's a bug.
Maybe. I don't know.
Should we tell Rick?
But yeah, I'll tell Rick. I don't know if anyone else has encountered that where you actually like you have to load in everything manually, versus being able to just double click it and it automatically comes in. So still working on that. If anyone runs into that issue, let me know. I would like to hear.
Cool. Also want to give some updates on shows and things. So we've got next week, we've got Smear Balls. Mr. Balls will be joining us.
Mr. Balls himself.
And then after that week, we're going to have a week off. We're going to play the Swarovski interview from the live special, if you haven't heard that, because hopefully I should be signing on a house that day. So we will not have a show. A little time off there. And afterwards, we got some other ones. Stay tuned for the newsletter. You'll get all the information on that. We're still working on finalizing the date for Many Hues of Mograph for August. I'm looking at August 27th, but with the guests, we have to make sure we have the date secure. So one of those things is trying to do all of these streams in between moving the studio and getting internet working and, feeling good about the bandwidth. You know how that is.
Yep.
And what else we got? We got an
You
article.
have double checked that you get like fiber out there,
yes,
right?
It's AT&T fiber, gigabit.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my number one thing. That was the first thing. I was like, whatever house it is, if it doesn't have internet, then it doesn't matter. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
You got to, especially nowadays, right? So check that out. And then we will have an article coming out this week, which I'll put in the newsletter. It's really cool. There's an artist who was bored in quarantine, basically, and decided to make a title sequence, like you do, like a fake title sequence, and did like a really good job with it. And so we have a write up on that, and then write off. And what else we got coming up on the show? We've got Siggraph. So we had virtual Siggraph last week, which we'll talk about in a minute. We have the virtual regular Siggraph, like they're doing some sort of stream or some online thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but that will be next month. So Maxon did theirs at the time Siggraph would have been, and then theirs is just going to be next month. And I don't have the exact dates. I want to say like 11th through 14th, something close to that. You have to check and see. So with Siggraph going on, what we're going to do is, if it works out scheduling wise, we're going to have Brandon Clements on the Saturday after. So we'll have like a live special on a Saturday, because it's kind of our tradition that Brandon comes on and we geek out about all the things, not just motion graphics in general, but hardware and everything else, video game technology, whatever it is. That's going to be a great discussion, especially now with all the Unreal talk that everybody's talking about. And then talk to EJ as well. And when we're doing the IBC streams with Maxon, he said that he's going to come on during that week. That'll be a lot of fun, because we can talk about anything new that might come up. And I think might have some tutorials and things at that point to talk about as well. So
cool. A
lot of fun stuff coming
Dave,
up.
Once we get to links, remind me about this one.
Oh, okay.
I just sent it to you in the chat.
Okay. The Dangus.
The Dingus.
The Dangus. Other things for the week. So, Siggraph last week, some really great presenters. Many of those people have already agreed to be on the show. So, stay tuned for that. And Beeple, a ridiculous Beeple segment.
Here's the thing. Here's what I would like to point out. Is that people wanted it to be like a happy whatever thing, and everyone was immediately like, Trump. No, it's got to be a Trump thing, And like, Beeple wasn't his normal like swearing self, because I think his kids were watching. Yeah. And I think we were pushing a Beeple-esque render on him, and he just wanted to do something happy. So. Yeah.
I think there were too many people on. I think next time.
Oh, I thought it was great. I
feel like you couldn't get into the details, because there was just so much chatter and talk. I don't know, but Pedro said it'd be good to talk about investing with people. That would be fun.
I actually have.
He needs to come on the show again soon.
He's got one thing where he said basically just throw it into this one and let it sit forever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Them stonk tips.
Yeah. So that's what I did. Tips. And then I lost 3 or 4% last week.
He was just trolling you. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And there's another thing that I thought was very interesting. There were first of all, the presentations were great. Gavin's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Gavin's was over the top awesome.
Have you seen all the ones that people are creating, the loops that people are creating based off of his tutorial already?
I haven't seen that. That's nice.
Oh man, he posted it on his Instagram, and being able to see all these the way he was showing it off, it seemed relatively easy, right? But you produce something super high quality. Relatively easily. I say relatively. When I'm sure figuring out the rails and stuff like that was a giant pain.
Oh yeah.
But just seeing some of the work that people are creating, it's awesome. It's so cool.
Instances within instances. Yo, dog, I heard you like instances.
So.
Well, the one thing tidbit that I got out of it that I thought was very interesting is this cache effector that Noseman brought up. And this is so interesting to me, because it's like, if you don't know what it is, you've got a Mograph cache, right? So you do some sort of sim and you put a Mograph cache tag on it and you cache the thing. Well, after that, you can't do anything with it unless you turn the cache off, you resimulate, and then you're done. So this Mograph cache effector is an effector that you can put on, and it takes the cache, and then you can like still do stuff with with other Mograph effectors to that cache. So once the pieces are in place, you can then modify those pieces. So it's almost, when you think about it, it's in a way, it's like if you were in Houdini and you cached a node and then you did stuff to it after the fact. So that's what I'm very interested in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Because you can do these sims and then you can apply stuff to that, which is especially cool. Like if you want to art direct and maybe use and maybe subtract certain Mograph clones or something after you've cached it. That's
man,
really
that
cool.
would have come in so handy. Like because I was doing this one project like a month ago, where I was having dynamics happen, and I was waiting for all the stuff to fall, and then I was like, okay, this looks good, and then the client would come back to me and say, I don't want this one, it looks too busy. So I had to go and erase like 3 or 4 of them, but it completely messed up my dynamics after that. That's pretty cool. That's a cool idea. Yeah, that's cool. That's neat. I like it.
Try that when it's available. So, and then this was interesting. My daughter and I decided we were going to start our own streaming station, because at night we watch those stations where it's like live 24/7 rain or rainforest or whatever. And we were looking at the comments and subscriber counts on those things, and they just sit there running. And we're like, well, how could we do that? So we bought a Raspberry Pi 4, and we went out and decided to shoot some stuff. So we went on a whole shoot with camera and recorded some 4K nature footage and got audio with a boom mic and looped it in Premiere and did the whole thing and put it up. And we got OBS to run on a Raspberry Pi. So it's
cool.
There's still some things to work out.
Linux?
It is Linux. It is a Linux
That's cool.
build, yeah. So you can actually run it on there. There's some limitations to the CPU itself. So, I was thinking 4K, and I don't know why I was thinking that, trying to run 4K on a Raspberry Pi. But we were able to get it going at HD, at least, with a good stream rate, like 2,500 KB. And then, we got it all set up. My daughter, she art directed. She designed a logo. She even did the circles for the lens flares. She was trying to describe what those were, and I'm like, oh, those are lens flares. So we made a logo.
Needs
based
more
on
lens
that.
flare.
Yeah.
If you could just put red giant looks on it, that'd be great.
Yeah. What's funny? I walked into the room the other day, and there was a movie on, and right when I walked in and turned and looked at the screen, it said, "Opening credits by Andrew Kramer."
Oh, that's funny.
Just one of those things.
Was it
like
Star Trek?
It was Super 8. And I was like, really? So we were around to the beginning, and I think all it was it just says Super 8, and that's it for like 3 seconds.
That's funny.
And lastly, you've got a link here to X Particles account downloads. I got this morning, and I don't know. I don't know all the info.
Stuff?
Or the Insidium stuff.
Basically,
give us the lowdown. The DL.
With X Particles in Cycles 4D, I believe you always had to keep that link that they emailed you in order to re-download any of your stuff. It says, from today, X Particles in Cycles 4D will be downloaded directly via your customer account. Plus, you now have the ability to switch between older and newer builds via your customer account, which is pretty cool. So, like, you can actually, you don't have to worry about keeping that stupid email anymore.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's good.
So,
that's good. Because our accounts are all wackadoodle right now. We got to figure out how we can standardize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I got for the week wrap up. That's it.
Yeah.
So let's do a little Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
Wanted to bring up the Tests of Brigade.
Oh, yeah.
That Jules was posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, first of all...
Dude, real time's where it's at. I'm telling you, that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. These tests that he was showing off, and then also the Redshift RT stuff that they were showing off at Siggraph.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
The
it's
real-time wars.
It's yeah, yeah.
It's
The
RT
real-time
wars.
wars.
RT
RT
wars.
That's funny.
But the stuff.
I mean, it's gonna be yeah, and like the VJ. I don't know, the Vigenamole
VJ
in the chat.
VJ.
Animole. I don't know. Brigade and Unity. Yeah. I mean, so
Anomaly.
you're doing
Anomaly.
Is it Anomaly?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
VJ Anomaly. Sorry, I'm stupid. But the yeah, that was the big thing, when I was trying out Unity for the first time, and putting Octane in there, I was like, okay, great. But I didn't realize that it wouldn't render real time. I was like, oh, it's just normal Octane. What's the point of rendering it in there? But now with Brigade and stuff, being able to go into Unity with Brigade, it's like killer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and Brigade just by itself
was so fast, man. It was
so
just
fast.
The previews were so fast. I was just man. Yeah.
I want it now.
I know.
I know. Now.
So
I need it now.
Don't you guys think there's a bit of a magic to having it not be real time? Like when you click that render button and you just look at your image just come up. I mean, I know that real time is ideally way better, but like I like it when I press the render button and then like I'm gonna get the amalgamation of everything I've put into an image to just come together and like show and like, oh, there's the detail, blah blah. Like,
it's the waiting.
Yeah, but I also like not rendering.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I like getting my results back really fast.
Yeah.
I wonder. I'm really curious to see the difference in say how 1-to-1 it is doing Brigade versus doing path tracing or direct lighting or something. Because say you can work in Brigade and send off all of your dailies and stuff to people in Brigade and say it's going to look slightly better or something with path tracing, and then render it all out in path tracing. I don't know.
A lot of it has to do with RTX. That's what's making it happen right now. Yeah. Man, that was just incredible. And also they hit a bench record for Octane bench, the NVIDIA A100.
I saw this.
446 on one card.
Yes, but also the card is $20,000.
Yeah. Right.
It's funny in the Slack. Jules posted that, and then someone was like, "Dude, this card is like $20,000." He's like, "Hey, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger." It's really funny.
Well, what's the advantage of the card? I guess that's the question, right?
I don't know. It's I think it's the new series that came out, right? This is going to be, I think, the precursor for the 30 series.
He's got the Turing architecture.
Yeah. And so they're saying the new architecture is going to be 40% faster or something like that than the old architecture. Yeah. And so it's man, I can't wait till this 30 series comes out. We get to build some new machines, right?
It's been dragging, no? I expected those to come out in, April, but I was a bit too.
Nah, because they normally announce the stuff about this time. They start with the last year.
I thought they were going to come out too.
A couple of years ago, it was the Quattros were announced, and then a month later, the actual RTX ones were announced.
Don't you think it will come out for Siggraph though? Wouldn't it be?
I think it will. Yeah. See, because they're announcing the A100 stuff, and then I have a feeling either in August or September, that's when they're going to announce the new ones, and so by Christmas we can all make new computers.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just looking to. It's a lot of this deep learning stuff, though. That's all they talk about. Yeah. It's well, I want to know. The other stuff.
As Armando in the chat says, it's more of a data center type card, not for desktop use. You don't want to spend that much money on desktop.
Armando's our web guy.
Oh, hey, Armando. I didn't realize that was you.
I kept seeing his comments the last few weeks.
I'm very excited about
not putting two and two together. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That's funny.
Do you think that the same way that NVIDIA is doing like separate drivers now for gaming and studio, do you think there'll be a time where there'll be a fork in terms of card technology?
I don't know.
Because right now we're sort of like in the same spot as the gamers, really.
Yeah. Unless you're going for the Quattro cards and stuff like that.
Short of VRAM, we're mostly concerned with just number of CUDA cores most of the time.
Yeah.
And so, like, all this other stuff, like, is it necessary?
Once everything becomes real time, is that even going to be an issue?
No one cares.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, is anyone going to care if I can render real time on a 2060 or something like that, or even half real time? 15 frames a second on a 1060. It's like
it's faster than real time then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next selling point.
It actually renders backwards. The render's done before you make it.
Before you hit render.
Yeah. Before you even build the scene.
You have to press it before you want it, so you have it by the time you actually need it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like that's one of those things that's, I think, like the iPhone, for example, right? When the first iPhone came out, it's like, oh, well, the next one's going to have this, and this. Oh, my God, it's going to be so awesome. And now that we're in, like, the iPhone over 9,000, whatever number we're at now.
I don't even know I don't know what number we're at.
I think they're going to announce.
12 is going to come out.
Was there 11?
Is it 12?
Oh, yeah, I have an 11. See? Don't even know anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. The curve has been, like, slowly getting plateau, like, over time. And the improvements are just very small and very sparse.
And that's why, it's not like you have to rush out anymore and get the new latest and greatest. It's like, well, what am I going to get? A couple more pixels? And I think that's what's going to happen with these cards, right? We're going to get so real-time that it's really only going to be about, memory, which that's almost going away because we've got friggin' Unreal 5 Black Magic coming out, whatever they're doing there. So unlimited polygons. So memory is barely an issue anymore. And then you've got what else? I guess resolution, being able to do like 8K real time as opposed to I don't know, whatever. Is that what we're gonna have left to?
Oh, real time and frame rate.
Frame rate.
That's probably it. Yeah. Like, how about real time at 120 hertz or frames per second?
Well, and then it goes to the stuff that Jules is talking about, because he was talking about how many cards it takes to power the holographic stuff that they're working on. So at that point, then that's going to be something that they're going to be tackling in holograms, because you're going to need that technology. Now, on this kind of technology, I can imagine with the technology they have for like Unreal and all of that, that you might be able to get these really cool experiences on a TV. So say you have a 4K or an 8K TV, and you've got like some sort of real-time render with a high frame rate. It looks almost like a window,
The chat's cracking me up, dude.
Why? What's that?
We've opened.
Talking about like rendering it before, and VJ and Emily said precog cores.
Precog
good.
cores. I like
precog
that.
cores. You know, like in Minority Report. Yeah, precog cores. Oh man, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah. So negative rendering.
Negative rendering.
Negative rendering.
The future.
How do you measure negative rendering when you're looking at like an Octane bench score?
It would be, I don't know. Would it be it wouldn't be a negative. Would it be a negative bench score?
Maybe it's an imaginary number.
It's just letters or like a random word.
It's like my bench score is like 480 I.
Yeah. There you go.
Because I is an imaginary number.
Yeah, we're getting real nerdy with this now. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
Measuring how long it takes you to think about what you want to render before that happens.
Right. Oh man, that's good.
It's actually what you could do is call it quantum rendering.
Quantum rendering,
but not in the quantum computing state or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You would only know how long it took if you measured it, but then it wouldn't be quantum computing
Schrodinger's
anymore.
render.
The moment you think of a render, it's already gone. There's no way you can get it.
The render is both rendered, it's finished rendering, and and still rendering at the same time until you look at it, till it's in its state.
That's good. That's good, Dave. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Your render is ruined or not ruined. Crashed or it didn't crash.
And once you look at it, it's already started re-rendering the frames that were messed up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's rendered everything with mistakes and without mistakes. You just got to sort out which ones.
Right.
Yeah. You want to keep. In fact, if it renders it right the first time, it has to render the incorrect render afterwards. I've got no idea what's going on right now. Oh man,
that's funny.
Someone's taking notes right now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah, Kevin says it
also has all the necessary approvals before even launching the app.
Yeah,
that's funny. So all your notes from the studio.
You actually get to tell the art
director. You hit
director,
render and you immediately get notes from the studio.
Yeah, you get to tell the art director what to do instead of vice versa.
Nah, that'll never happen.
Yeah, let's be honest. All right. So, Rolando, let's talk about you now. We're gonna dive into it here. We're gonna dive into your background and whatnot. So, let's start, I guess, with your start in the industry, but possibly right before that, because let's talk about school. We haven't really had much of a chance to talk. We haven't met in person like we have with many of our guests yet. So when it comes to your background, you kind of mentioned before the show that you may or may not have learned some of this stuff in school, and I'm interested to hear about that.
Right. So I graduated in 2017 from Ringling College. And
Brodeur then.
Yes, but I never met him when I was there.
Oh, wow.
I just found out after the fact.
You're lucky. You don't want to.
So I've been told. I did film. I didn't do motion graphics at all. At the end of our senior year, there's like this show where everyone in their major puts up their final projects and everything. And for some reason, I can't remember, I went to the motion graphics show and I just sat there and watched all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell have I been doing? Like, I thought it was so cool. And like, you can do this with a computer. And that was like my first introduction into motion graphics, really. But I mean, I had done film up until then, so I could only take on motion graphics after I graduated, when I went back to Spain and started looking for jobs and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got the itch after watching all the portfolio reviews or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And were you doing any, since you were studying film, were you doing any editing or After Effects or anything with it?
Yeah, so that also helped. Like, I had this a computer with a graphics card, and then I used it mostly for like Premiere, and yeah, that was basically it. So like, I felt I was kind of underutilizing the GPU besides games, which I didn't want to like count in that utilizing my computer.
Yeah.
So I started looking into what things I could use to like I could do to use this like beefy GPU thing, and then I heard about Octane, and actually first thing I did was like Blender Cycles, because it uses the GPU, and it just came out with an update when I got my 1080, and so I like got that and started rendering things in Cycles there, and I thought it was fun.
How'd you like it?
I didn't know anything beyond that. So for me, that was like, oh, this is cool. And I know I followed a couple of people on Instagram that were doing really cool things. And then I was like, oh, cool. But I never took it as more than a hobby at that time. It was just something that I could play around with when I got the itch. Because with film, you can't really leave the house every day to film. And you depend on a group of people if you have a team and all that stuff. So
were you doing a lot of filmmaking, you know? Were you working
in uni?
Studios?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, during uni, yeah, I did filmmaking. I think the way they do it there is everyone has to go through every role at least once throughout their course. So I was like a grip and a gaffer and a cinematographer and a director, and I really liked cinematography and gaffing the most. But yeah, and then when I finished, I think it's really hard to get a job straight up as a director, obviously, and a cinematographer. So like my go-to was maybe editing is the best way to go, since it's more of like, I mean, it's still an artistic skill, but it's also technical enough that if you know how to do it properly and you have a portfolio and you show, people can take you seriously and then bring you in, you know?
Yeah.
So then I thought, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And then, yeah, I applied to a bunch of places in Spain. Well, I couldn't stay in the US because of visa reasons and all that. So, yeah, well, in Spain, I started applying. And then I got a job at a place in the UK doing travel videography. So it was like both editing and cinematography of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that same time is when I started. There was like this period of time where I couldn't leave my house. Pretty much, it was like pretty like quarantine. I had like some minor surgery or something, so I couldn't like move out. Or, so like the only way I had to scratch my creative itch was to do 3D stuff. So I started just learning. Really, I had I had C4D at that point, and then I got a Redshift license, just started cracking, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
So when you got to travel and you got to shoot, like, what were you shooting when you were traveling? Nature? Mostly nature? I saw some of your shots online.
It's a bit of a funny story. I got this job at a travel adventure company. So I for some reason I didn't read too much into it, and I thought the idea was that they would fly me to places with a camera, like really nice hotels and just luxury places and everything, and make nice videos for packages and all that. It was only after I had the interview that I went back, like, this was really weird. And then I read on their website that it's more about the adventure of it, and it was like about climbing mountains and going to, it's like crazy, like the Kilimanjaro and like the walking the Great Wall of China and all that stuff. So, I mean, I didn't say no. I thought it was more fun, but I would have never like guessed that before. But yeah,
well, you got some great shots on your site too.
Did you get to walk the Great Wall of China and go up Kilimanjaro?
Yes, I have this all like sorts of crazy things that feel more like a dream at this point than I actually did them. But yeah, it was really fun, really fun.
Man, super.
And they just flew you to all these different places.
Hmm?
And they just flew you to all these different places.
So what I did was travel with groups. So say a group of like 20 people would book the holiday or the adventure package, and I would just travel with them, take pictures of nature and all of that, and of them. So then they would have like their own big editing package done and pictures of themselves. So like the idea is that you don't have to bring your own camera to the trip.
Dave loves the puffins.
Super jealous of the puffin, man. I went on a whole adventure to try and find a puffin through Iceland, and I could not find one.
I kid you not, Iceland is the absolute most beautiful place I've ever been to.
It really is.
Yes, it is.
No joke. Like,
we're gonna buy a house there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I'm gonna have a retirement home there, for sure. Been there twice, and I am in love with that place.
Yeah. It was actually that trip was a couple of friends and we flew there and rented a car and then just like drove all around the island.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Is this on the south?
Super nice.
The south side of the island on that one cliff.
I don't remember.
Everybody goes to?
Yeah, it's on the cliff. Yeah. That's the.
See, we were there a little too late, and then we've heard now because of climate change, it's slightly changing to where they don't migrate to this area as much anymore as they used to. And so, like, I had this 400 millimeter lens and everything, and I was just out driving around trying to find a puffin. You know,
you just wanted to see a puffin.
One puffin.
Yeah, there were lots of them. There's actually a place where there were like 1 million of them. It's like a safe house or some sort for puffins.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It was the coldest I've ever been in my life. Was that trip, because I came from Texas completely unprepared for the cold.
Is this St. Mark's Square here, or is this Italy, or is
that's in Peru, I think.
Oh, Peru.
Yeah, I think so.
I was way off.
But yeah, actually, that trip to Iceland, when I went with my friends, I recorded a video of that trip, which I then just sent to this company that I applied to. That this was in between the summer where I graduated and where I got the job.
Okay.
So like I just sent this video to them, and they were like, "Oh, that's exactly what we want you to
Yeah.
do." So kind of got me the job there.
Is this the one falls where you can climb up the side?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Matt and I were there.
Hopeless. It's hopeless to try and say any of the names because
yeah,
we'd be butchering it.
Right. Is this Siggraph? I know it starts with an S. That's all I remember.
Spells. Yeah.
Something falls. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I love this one. I love the light on this big.
Yeah. It looks like an old 1600s photograph or something. You know.
It's a shame you can't see the Big Ben like that anymore until
I know.
20 something. Yeah.
So I was at apparently I guess you were at MDC last year.
I was
there. And driving down the street, this was all under construction, big old scaffolding all over it. How long does that last till? At this point?
2021 or 2022.
Yeah, sure. Who knows now at
but
this point?
Now, even with coronavirus now.
Yeah.
For longer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you worked for this company, and then you got injured or had surgery or something like that.
It was before. Yeah.
Okay.
I got hired. Well, with a starting date of like January 2018. And then on like, I think October 2017 is when I started just doing 3D. I got like injured and started just testing.
So you like as you're doing all this stuff, you're just dabbling in 3D and stuff like that. And so like what made you make the jump from like, all right, I'm done being a cinematographer, traveling to all these amazingly wonderful places that Matt Milstead wishes he could go to, you know, that half the world wishes they could go to for free. And I'm going to focus on 3D animation.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an easy choice. There were like plenty of factors that went into that decision. But like, obviously during my time traveling, because of the nature of the work, there would be some off time as well. So during that off time, I would start dabbling in 3D. And that's when I started doing like my daily posts and all of that and trying to learn Cinema 4D and Redshift and all of that. And then I started getting a bit of a following on Instagram, and then I started getting emails from like companies that I had heard from before that they were like, "Hey, we want you to work for us," blah blah. And then, I mean, they were. I know it's like shallow, but they were offering like salaries that I hadn't even thought I could do. And then, I mean, that was one of the reasons. But I think. More importantly,
all for the money, I see.
But money dough.
More important, that's the fun thing. I was doing this before I was making money out of it, so like in that sense. But I think more importantly, I started thinking of like, I could travel to all of these places and keep doing that, but what I didn't want to do was keep doing it for 3 years. It had no next stepping stone. I could have been doing that for 3 years, and then I would have left and be like, well, beyond the experiences, there's not a lot much
other than all the travel.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's a good experience for a while, but I can imagine. I mean, I traveled doing shows, and after a while, just the travel just wears on you hard.
Yeah.
That's got to be, especially the places you were going.
After this year, I'm going to be ready to travel. Like.
Yeah. Everyone's got that itch now.
Yeah.
But also too. I mean, I used to get this a lot from people, especially the people that accompany on the trip, just being like, "Oh, you've got the dream job." And well, first, like I didn't feel like that. I felt I was really fortunate to be able to do that and just make a living out of just traveling places. But I think people don't really know how much mental effort and stress goes into being behind the camera 24/7 during a 20-day trip, having to take pictures of people and places and videos.
You don't get a chance to enjoy it.
To edit. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're always constantly thinking like, whenever something fun or good or nice or beautiful happens, your mind has to go to, I need to grab the camera and I need to be in the right spot to get the right thing with the right settings. Yeah. So there's very little room to enjoy it. And I also thought, well, I might as well just do something that lets me then take these trips where I don't necessarily have to bring a camera with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Let someone else do the videography.
Oh, that too. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would have killed for that job. So I, in a way, didn't feel grateful enough. So it was an easy decision for me. And
so during your breaks and stuff, you would be doing dailies. What was the thought behind dailies? I mean, you know, was it a Beeple inspired daily or what?
Or just wanting to, it was about getting experience with the software or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the way I initially started was I just wanted to learn like specific techniques and quirks about cinema and redshift. So like each one of those dailies has something more that I wanted to add to it. So like little by little, if every day you dedicate to like one small thing, then you will eventually build up a whole lot of knowledge that just lets you do things without finding obstacles, you know? Like I know that so many people want to do crazy dailies or like people's dailies, but they're like, oh, it's just too much and it's not going to look good enough. So they just decide not to do dailies and they decide to do like a project, like a weekly project thing, which is fine. But I mean, I was sort of like driven into this. I started doing like little by little, and then eventually I felt more comfortable with doing bigger things, I guess, or trying different things.
I like the thought of each day, you know, you expand a little bit more on your knowledge. You're trying something different. You know, I used to do the Dallas 24-hour video race, you know, every year, and every year that I would compete, I would go into it like they wouldn't give us the criteria until that night at midnight.
Right.
But every year I would try and do something that I had never done before. You know, like one year I had never done green screen. So I'm like, I'm going to do an entire green screen shoot and we're going to animate the whole background and stuff. You know,
you learn a lot from doing that. Like
you do learn a lot. Yeah. And you've got to learn it quickly, and then you feel relatively comfortable doing it again in a real life environment and stuff.
Right. Because as we all know, whenever Matt has to do something that he's never done before,
my gosh,
man, it gets
me pumped.
I wanted to ask you about the colors. Hi, the colors, children, the colors.
Yes.
Because you have some very
palettes
great
are amazing.
palettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about your process in choosing these colors.
Yeah, and like it seems to have a very design, you know, inspired background, or like that. Like if you were like immediately when looking at these, I'm like, okay, he's a graphic designer who moved into, you know,
it's almost like you have the interior decorating eye for color.
Yeah.
So,
you know.
When I start, like I didn't know, and I still think I don't know anything about color. But when I started, I would just look for. I mean, I guess that's unfair to say because, like, while doing cinematography and filmmaking, obviously you got to pay attention to that stuff. And, you know, it's you have to be a lot more precise about that, because when you're shooting actors and they're wearing clothes and they have props and everything, any color can just like set off a whole lot of problems. So you have to be a lot more picky into what goes into a frame. And I think that it was really liberating switching to 3D and being like, oh, I'm totally in control of which colors I use now.
Yeah, I love this one. I think I saw that one. Yeah, I think I saw this one. Did you post this to like Reddit or something?
I did, yeah.
I think I saw it on Reddit.
Yeah, that's wild.
Is it just a bend deformer?
How do you
it's
go about
either that.
it?
I think there's this deformer from Curious Animals. Is that like a? I think it's called Curious Animal. It's like called like a roll deformer. It basically rolls geometry.
Okay.
There's a way you can do it. I think someone did a tutorial on how to do it with a bend deformer just as easily.
Yeah.
But,
it's pretty.
Yeah, it's
satisfying.
Yeah,
it should be
it's oddly
satisfying /r/
Yeah. See, that'll get you 100,000 likes on 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Maybe
right
even
there.
a Reddit gold.
Yeah.
I swear, dude. I tried to go twice there, but I just felt it was cringe. Like not the good kind of cringe. weird.
There's some bad cringe on there. There's some bad cringe, but I think like I've seen a few people who are on TikTok who have posted 3D stuff, you know, and like the thing with 3D. The thing with 3D on TikTok is like you have to have it specifically in mind for TikTok. You can't just like post your stuff, you know.
What does that mean? Like specifically?
Like you have to. It has to be. I don't know. It has to be
spammy,
catered towards TikTok. You know,
the
you have
TikTok
to build
culture?
it. Build like the dimensions and everything specifically for TikTok.
Okay.
And you can't just because like Ariev was posting, you know, just like 16:9 things where it's like super mega cropped, and I was like, you know, either turn it to the side or do whatever, you know. And I've noticed he started like adding a lot more space.
Yeah.
You know, because it looks better. It looks
Well,
better.
I've always done that for Instagram as well. Like you post on the 4:5 aspect ratio thing.
Yeah. But it's also about having that spammy name. Like Ariev posted on his account the Harry Potter Star Wars thing, a clip from it, and he, you know, the tagline on it is, I don't remember this part of Star Wars or this part of Harry Potter or whatever.
I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to.
It's like the TikTok culture. You've got to have the spammy, name grabby headlines, the clickbait. Yeah.
And always be aware the first one that you post will immediately, like, that will get you more hits than any of the other ones, because they want to get you reeled in, you know.
That's how they get
you. So they'll make that first one kind of go a little viral, you know, and you're like, oh sweet, I got to start producing more content.
It's not very different from like drugs. And
it's not. No, no, it's very much
like,
drugs.
Give you like something that you will like. You'll come back for more. Sure.
Digital drugs. Yeah.
Digital drugs.
I saw a great video on that. Sorry, go ahead.
And with social media and the likes and all of that, it's a bit of a slippery slope too. Like I know that first person, just losing yourself in the likes and the what should I do for them, you know, and all that stuff. Which you need to take a step back every now and then and just be like, why am I doing this? What does it matter? I know that they've taken off likes. They've hidden likes for a lot of people. Yeah. Wish they did that to me. There's a way I can message Instagram.
You can look at the insights and see how many likes you've gotten, but like people can't see how many likes you've gotten. You know, I don't know. I've never gotten lost in the likes. I've always gotten lost in the haters. That just tears me up because I'm sensitive.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I've gotten, I think even just yesterday, I got a message someone wrote on a very old, relatively old animation. They were like, what's the point?
Right.
You know they were trying to troll.
Yeah. And it just tears you up. You're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, why you got to be like that? What? Yeah.
Boredom.
Anyway.
Quarantine boredom.
See, and I find myself wanting to write stuff like that occasionally, and then I'm just like, how is this going to affect the person that I am responding to?
Yeah, but that's way beyond that second wave of thought.
Right.
Is far ahead of some people. Like,
right.
They will not go that through. Especially with the whole anonymity and stuff. I think if people had to have their real names on social media, things would change quite a lot. But...
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't have done my Instagram if I had to put my name on it. That's why I have the Honear handle thing.
Yeah. See, I created a completely different, like, I've got two Instagrams, one for my personal that only my family follows, you know, and it's very private. It's the same with Facebook. Like, I literally had another friend request today, you know, and it's someone within the industry, but I'm not going to accept it. I have 38 people in limbo right now, some going back as far as 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years on Facebook that I'm just...
You should just add them right now. They're like, hey, finally.
I've thought about that, you know? Matt has finally accepted your friend request. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook, it's only people that I've met in person, you know? Just real people. If I get all the ones all the time, it's like you and Tom Glimpse and David Ariev and Raphael Rao have this person and comment. I'm like, it's somebody on Facebook. Sorry, yeah, I don't know you.
So talk to me about so how many followers on Instagram do you have?
I think at the moment it's like 25 something.
Okay. I was going to say, you don't know off the top of your head, man.
25K.
Okay.
Just 25 followers. I mean,
just 25
friends.
25.
Yeah.
Let's name them all by name, one at a time.
What was I going to say? So you've had like companies actually hit you up on Instagram, to actually do work. Like, how and has it been? It's been permanent work or it's been freelance work?
Both. I think I've gotten a fair amount of. I mean, not so many permanent stuff, but like when I started, it was funny. The first few messages I got were from like I think Buck and Sayop.
Yeah.
To do something. Yeah, but that was when I was working back at my other like cinematography job. I had no idea. I think I suggested some really odd things about the work schedule and everything, and it was like I didn't know how things worked. And then from then on, it was just very small projects with nothing like with a daily rate or anything. It was just like, oh, I need an album cover. Like, would you want to do that for me? And just do that little by little. And then I think it was around 2018, late 2018, where I thought, well, I could quit my job right now and I wouldn't get that big of a hit right now with all of this other work coming in. And then by that time, I was really, really into 3D. I still am, but I was really, really into 3D as well then. And so, that's when I said, like, okay, let's do this. Let's go. And I quit and I became a freelancer out of nowhere. So.
Man. So, are you working for a studio now, or are you still freelancing?
No, I'm still doing freelance. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
And how are you getting a lot of your work? Just through word of mouth, and are you still getting hit up a lot on Instagram? Like, for example, I'm curious if because I don't know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of Instagram famous people. I've never been Instagram famous. So I'm curious if by getting that way, if you can make a living specifically just out of requests from people hitting you up on Instagram,
Yeah, I think it's not very different from just having a portfolio website that you send to people. Like when I usually reach out, I will include a link to my Instagram just because, I mean,
of course,
you have to think too that for the people that are looking at your stuff, it's also easier. It's familiar. They know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They have sort of, it sucks, but they have a gauge for how much engagement you have, how you do these things. They can scroll down the timeline and see what your stuff used to look like and how much you've improved and the kinds of things you can do and cannot do. So in a way, it's a lot easier for them too. And then, I think. Sorry.
Is it still like you just keep getting more from the portfolio, or are you getting repeat business from some of the originals? Like, do you have a handful of clients that now that you've established that relationship, they keep coming back, or are many of these just one-hit wonders, or what is your?
I think.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's a lot of one-hit wonders. I think that when you're sort of like breaking in and you don't quite know your daily rate and where everything stands and even how things are done. Like I hadn't worked on site ever, so
that's nice.
I mean, when you do that for like 6 months straight, you start to go mental, and you're like, I wish there was someone next to me that could give me a hand when this thing isn't working, or like.
Or you could go to lunch with, or
for example, But I mean, there's the good things and there's the bad things. I think, a balance is super nice. Just going to work for a month or two on site, and then going back home and staying for another month or two, and vice versa. And I think that's nice. But in terms of repeat clients, I think now I'm getting. people in studios that know me and know the work I do, and they
Mm-hmm.
reach out after I've worked on a project with them when they're like, "Hey, we have something that we think like you would be great at," and I don't think it's any different from. Well, I wouldn't know actually.
The stuff that you have on the site, like the Slurpee thing, is that was that work for 7-Eleven? Was that a spec thing?
That was an agency in
Agency?
LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I guess a lot of your stuff is under NDA, so you can't show it online. But
no, not the stuff that I've been working on for. I mean, there must be like a couple of projects that have already come out, but I haven't like looked them up yet. But yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year for everyone, but I'm looking forward to maybe like leaving a bit more time and then just gathering all of the stuff that I've done, the stuff that I can show, and just redoing my website and putting a lot more of the stuff there.
Have you found that having that background in film, like a knowledge of, composition and framing and stuff like that, helped give you a leg up in 3D?
I think so. I mean, absolutely. I think for a lot of people, it can be very daunting to just hop into cinema and then have this camera with camera settings and just lights, and where do I put all of this? So whereas for me, it was like, oh shit, I can move my lights freely now. I don't have to just grab a C-stand and put it here.
And,
exactly. For me, it was like, oh my god, this is
C-stands
and I can
are the worst.
Target an object with a light too. Just
C-stands suck. I hate setting up C-stands. I hate turning the stupid things on the bottom. The amount of
bruises I've got on my shins because of C-stands is insane.
My kid, I've got a C-stand for my backlight right here, and my kid stubbed his toe twice the other day. All within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I've been recording, and I have had one here when the green screen is not here, and it's just such a pain to have it all set up and in the way, and hit your head on things, and it's like, stupid thing.
Yeah, I don't miss carrying C-stands around and back and forth and wrapping cables again and all that stuff. So I think to answer your question, doing film before, it does give you a leg up. I think it takes away all of that side of how my lighting is going to be and how my camera settings are going to be and all of the focal length and depth of field and all that stuff. Like you know what you're looking for, basically.
Yeah. Pedro had an interesting question. He said, do you have many clients in Spain, or are they mainly UK, US? And can you talk about your experience with rates from different countries? I think that's a really interesting conversation, because there was a discussion, I think it was last week, where we were talking about, like, someone was talking about having a unified rate across the board, but I can see, especially, working remote for different companies, all across Europe and the US, that the rates could vary significantly.
Yeah. Well, I forgot what I was going to say. I actually moved to London from where I was. This other company that I was working at before I switched to 3D was like about 4 or 5 hours away from London. So I switched to London specifically because the industry there is huge.
Yeah.
For the first 6 or 7 months there, I didn't get a single job from the UK.
Gosh.
All of my well, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Yeah. I didn't get a single job. That was it.
You got jobs. They weren't from the UK.
From the UK, yeah. So they were from the US mostly, and some from South America, and a couple of ones from Poland, from a nice studio there. Yeah.
See, that's why we could get a place in Iceland. We'd be fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as we got good internet.
Yeah.
Good internet is a must.
Yep.
And I think one of the questions that I would like to know is, does the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plane?
You're so fired.
Fall mainly on what?
Have you heard that before? The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane.
It's from the musical My Fair Lady.
Honestly, the rain in Spain hasn't fallen for quite a bit. I think it's been super nice.
Well, maybe you don't live on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh.
Well, of course, you're not even near the plane because you're not in Spain.
No, he's in Spain.
Right now, I am in Spain.
Oh, right now you're in Spain. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm confused. I don't know.
See? Should have asked.
Yeah, that's right. So you're in quarantine in Spain.
Quarantine in Spain.
Yeah.
How is that going, by the way?
I'll be honest, it's going great. I love it.
Yeah?
I'm not paying for rent because
Oh,
I'm
that's
at
good.
my parents' place right now, and I'm finding it hard to find reasons to move back at the moment. I think that eventually I'll want to go. And
Your parents are probably like, we can't wait for him to move back. You're like, this is good. I'm good here. Yeah.
no, not quite. Like I have my secluded office upstairs, and yeah, I don't even notice. But yeah. Funny thing is, I had a PC set up here for when I used to visit, and I had another one in London. But now that I've had to move back, I have double the amount of screens,
Nice.
double like
Yeah.
2 PCs. So like right now,
all the screens.
It's really nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't mention I had a litter of 5 dogs very recently during quarantine. So yeah, that's keeping me here for the foreseen future.
What kind of dogs?
They're Teckle Dachshunds, long
Okay.
hair breed. Yeah.
See, everybody in the chat wants you back in London.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really
buddies.
nice group of people there. We do hangouts every now and then. And
you hang out with Claudio as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. That was fun meeting everybody over there. He what?
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I just couldn't leave my pregnant wife, at the time.
That's true. Man.
For the MTC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was gonna go, but my wife was 7 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant. I don't know, and I had already traveled so much. It's like I can't do that.
Yeah, that was a big.
But next year I'm traveling like crazy
everywhere.
Next year you're not traveling.
I am not. I won't be home for even a single week.
Yeah.
Full week.
That won't be problematic at all.
Right, I know, of course.
Just a pit stop every now and then. And
right.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Hey, I'm alive. I'm here.
Hey,
go to another meetup.
I wanted to talk, because we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about Neutron.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Neutron.
We should talk.
Should we play the Pointer Sisters Neutron Dance song?
No. Just play the Jimmy Neutron theme song.
Yeah. I'll pretend that I'm playing it right now.
Dave's going to insert it right here.
No. So this is a new technology from Maxon that they announced, and I'm assuming we'll hear a little bit more about it in the coming months. But this is, first of all,
I don't really know much about it.
I'm
gonna rely on you, Dave.
I was in the stream, and I don't even know that much about it. A lot of it is kind of like the announcements that they made this week were future announcements. They're doing something new. Yeah. It's talking about stuff that's coming up, and I think that's great. I feel like everybody else is doing that at this point. Yeah. You get a lot of people showing future stuff, and one of the problems with showing off things that are coming in the future is that sometimes you don't know when it's going to be done, right? Yeah. Like we're getting close to being done with Winbush's course right now, right? But we don't have an exact date. Same thing applies to like if Jules announces something for Otoy, it's like, well, we have this thing coming, and everybody gets so impatient. That was the whole problem
with Octane 3.
Right.
There were a lot of announcements, but very little.
That was a really long wait. Yeah. But there are some things, like Octane X, for example, where people are like, you said it's coming. Where is it? Where is it? Huh? Where is it? And every day somebody else is posting. And so I think that's probably one of the factors that comes into account when you're thinking about, should we talk about things that are coming out in the future?
Well, they did say that there would be some of this in the new release. Is that correct?
I believe that's true.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but what's great about this, not only
we are not representatives from Maxon, so take what we say with a grain of salt. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they showed off was Neutron, that viewport though, man.
Yeah, that viewport though.
Running all those instances, but mainly go back and watch David's keynote speech from Siggraph. You can see this. It's one of those things where I have felt personally, when I'm using C4D, if I need to go into Houdini for something, it's like, God forbid, right? I love Houdini, but I also hate Houdini because sometimes when I'm working, I like to keep everything I'm doing pretty light. I don't like to get too complicated. Sometimes it's fun to get a little complicated, but when something gets frustratingly complicated, it sucks. And sometimes you don't want to jump into Houdini. Sometimes you're in Cinema 4D, which has such a great intuitive interface. It's like, I don't want to jump into another program. I just want to stay here. And so my whole thought on all of this has been, I want to click on a particular element in Cinema 4D and open the hood, so to speak. And I think
Houdini also takes a different mindset of thinking about things too.
Right.
Like it's more about data managing, data wrangling, rather than let's put this polygon here and like all of that.
Literally data wrangling. Isn't there a wrangler node?
I'm sure it is, yeah.
And so for me, like I feel like this is really great because it looks like this is the start of having the opportunity to open the hood on some of these things. And I don't think I think I saw it described in the chat as like an answer to Houdini, and yes or no, like I agree with that in a way, but I also don't. I feel like I don't think it's because people are moving to Houdini. I feel like people use these two programs together a lot. So and sometimes, all I want to do is be able to open the hood for a second and cross a couple wires and then close the hood. And that's how I look at that. And I feel like that's what I have been wanting from this program. I don't feel like Cinema 4D needs to downgrade to appeal to people. I think it needs to upgrade to appeal to people, because there is kind of that whole thing. Well, let's make it simple and easy to use to the point of, it's too simplistic. I think it needs to go the other way. I think that's what people are looking for, who really want to get power out of it.
And don't be afraid to say that you hate nodes. Like, here's the thing. I don't like nodes at all.
Neither do I.
I've never liked nodes.
I love them.
Yeah, I mean, see, there's and you shouldn't feel ashamed because you dislike nodes or you like nodes. Don't let anyone bully you into using nodes.
But you also have those people that don't. You have those people that don't want to use nodes and the people that do. And I feel like that's why the best solution is to have something that you can open the hood on, because then you're appealing to both audiences.
It's the thing that I enjoy most about Octane, is the fact that I can build almost everything just within the attributes window, and then when I need to jump in and fine tune something, I can jump into the node tree and mess with it there.
And it's funny because you see people who are super ecstatic about Neutron because you can't open the hood, and then you have other people when they're showing off Redshift stuff. It's like, that's so complicated because if I just want to do a simple material, I have to do nodes. They want that kind of front end interface that Octane has, which is understandable. So you got both of these camps, and that's why that analogy of being able to open the hood, that is I think what is going to be appealing to everybody, and what's going to work really well. I'm really excited to see what they have to offer. So I know it's still in development right now, so it won't be as, Oh, go ahead.
I think you're totally right about that. It's a lot of times it's just simple things that you can't do in cinema that make you have to do things in Houdini instead, that you could probably solve with a couple of tweaks, and like you're saying, being able to open the hood and everything. I mean, that being said, I think Houdini is awesome on its own, and I don't think cinema, for what my opinion is, where it should be trying to take over Houdini's thing. It's just like you're saying, doing its own thing, not necessarily trying to wouldn't consider it an answer to side effects more than just this other open area of...
Right.
Yeah.
And it could be a gradual thing or whatever it is. It's not like they don't need to have Houdini functionality overnight. It's just nice to have a little more opportunity to dig into something instead of having to move over to Houdini if you don't want to. That can still be up to you. It's just like choosing a render engine. So.
And the speed is crazy. Like that I think is the most impressive thing about Neutron that I've seen, is that it is insanely fast from what they were showing off.
Did you see Barton Damer's Instagram story?
No, what it? Oh, it was. He was deleting Unreal Engine.
Yeah, he's like after seeing Neutron, and he's deleting Unreal, uninstall. Yeah,
that's funny.
I got a couple links here I wanted to talk about.
And I have a link too.
Yes, you do. And I don't even know what it is. It's secrets. I haven't opened it yet. Nuke Indie.
Nuke Indie.
Nuke Indie. Jeff says, don't be afraid of Houdini, Dave.
That's funny.
Nuke Indie. So this is nice. So it's a subscription. I believe it's $500 a year, which is super awesome because Nuke has been way, 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 way too expensive for too long. It's like 10 grand or something stupid, and nobody can afford that. And
Nuke Indie has the same licensing limitations as Houdini, where you can't earn up to $100,000 a year. If you're earning more than that, then you need to buy the full studio version.
There are so many people who have not been able to get into Nuke. They have not been able to. You could get like I don't know. There were those other versions that didn't do. They had huge limitations, huge limitations. And I think one of those things was it was only HD, so you couldn't even do 4K stuff in it. And so I feel like this is a great opportunity for people who really want to go that direction and really get into nodal-based compositing rather than using After Effects.
The biggest downside to Nuke Indie is there's no third-party plugin support. Yeah. Just like with the Learning Edition or whatever
somebody
they
just
call
actually
it.
said that in the chat.
Non-commercial. Yeah. I mean that to me is almost a deal breaker.
But is that how often do you use third-party plugins in Nuke? In Nuke. I've never used
RSMB. Do you use RSMB? I mean, I don't know. Like,
really. I mean, I did speak with a couple of friends about this, and I think, from what we talked about, apparently Houdini Indie started the same way. You couldn't use third-party render engines, and they had a lot of limitations. So I think this may just be the Foundry. I think instead of just
the waters
exactly. Instead of releasing an indie version that can do literally anything, and then people can find workarounds to just not have to use other licenses because they can do the same thing. It's just more like cautiously putting out, hey, we want to do this indie licensing thing. For now, you can't do this and that. But I think they might be relaxing what you're saying. Third-party plugin is so important.
I hope that's the case because Houdini Indie. When there was a big update like a year or two ago where they upped the res to 4K and allowed you to put it on 2 computers and stuff, and it was like, wow, that was game changing. To be able to do all that, it's like that makes it a viable option for all this.
There's such a barrier to entry on Nuke.
There is.
That's the thing, and
it's the whole reason I don't know it.
Well, they did have the Apprentice version, no?
Yeah, they had the non-commercial version, but it's still it's like there are still
resolution limitations, all of that.
Yeah. Up to 1080p, and like if you can't import certain things, and
I think the whole way of looking at it is if there's an indie version, right, and you can't get to, or let's say even an Apprentice version, right, you can't. What's the point if you can't get over the hump? If you mess with it and you're like, okay, this is awesome, I would like to buy it. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to spend $10,000 now if you want to get it. That's still a barrier to entry, so people aren't going to learn it.
Non-commercial, the non-commercial version, it's like, okay, I can't make any money off of this, so how am I supposed to pay for the full commercial version? So I think with the indie version, like you can actually use it for commercial use. So that's like, I mean, maybe that's what it is,
Yeah.
Whatever, people are finally making some money, because if you're making $100,000 a year just off of Nuke or whatever, you might be able to actually afford the Nuke studio. I don't know.
I mean, it's a
10% of your
expense, just like any other. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just such a high number to start with, and I feel like other companies are moving to that subscription model, and maybe they're considering the same thing. Looking at everybody else in the industry and saying, well, people are going to stop using our software if we make it that hard to get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, from a sales point of view, it makes sense. I think, I mean, I don't know how the Foundry is doing their like bulk of cash, but I'm guessing that it's not the indie licenses. It's not going to be it. It's just like a price, like level of entry price for just reaching a wider audience. You know, they're not losing anything by doing this, but it's a step in the right direction. No, I mean, if more people start to learn Nuke and it becomes more, I mean, it's already kind of a standard for a lot of studios and film industry and all that.
But you know, that is the thing. It's like, if you want to, I hate to say it, but if you wanted to learn Nuke, you had to pirate Nuke, you know?
And they are notorious. They come down on you so hard.
They'll track you down and they'll come after you.
They've got stuff built in. We know people they have come after, and they make you pay.
Yeah.
Or else.
That's the thing. It's like, if you wanted to learn it, you had to go through all these back channels in order to learn it. And it's like, for me, that wasn't enticing to me.
I mean, they nearly blackmailed somebody we know because like we know what studio you work for and that you pirated it, and we are going to go to that studio and tell them what you did unless you pay for the $10,000 for your license. Pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you don't want to mess with.
I mean,
that.
they do have to have a way to make money too. Like, you know, I mean,
absolutely,
it'd be great if they just gave the licenses for free.
We're not saying that it should be free or anything. I'm just saying, like,
the barrier to entry. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Because this is good. This is good. The indie version, I feel like that will probably convert a few people. You know, because if you can use it for, you know, actual commercial jobs, you can make actual money with it. You know, which then if you're going into a studio, you know, you're not like, oh, I only know After Effects because I couldn't afford the $10,000 for Nuke. You know,
but that's the thing. We are not in any way condoning like downloading software for free. But there is a proven amount of piracy that actually with software like Adobe, like this is how Photoshop got to be Photoshop, is because college kids would pirate it and then they would buy it when they actually like started a company, or they would use it, or they would recommend it to their employers when they went to go work somewhere, and they would then buy it. And it's like it's such a weird
smart business model. I mean, I think obviously if Photoshop were extremely difficult to pirate, it wouldn't be near as. I mean, there are alternatives that are cheap.
Yeah, I mean, and then Adobe got smart and they switched over to the subscription model.
Right.
You know, and the second they switched over to the subscription model, there were a lot of people out there, me included, who was like, I should be paying for this now.
Yeah, bam.
You know, I mean, I was using a version of, you know, Adobe products that I was using at work. I just so happened to install it on my personal computer, you know.
And I had bought like a version on CD.
Like, yeah.
You know,
so now with this new model, it's like, you know, I'm happy that this is out there because it may actually influence me to go into Nuke a little bit.
It's a similar thing with Maxon, no? Like they just got into the subscription model about a year ago or so. Like before I had to pay like, I don't know, the equivalent in dollars for my version was like £3,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a very steep price if you're not already sure that you want to use it as your main tool.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like with the new subscription model, it gets rid of the barrier to entry.
Exactly,
you know? Sure, you don't actually own any of the software and stuff, but you know, if you're going to stop using it, what are you going to do? Sell your software? You know?
You don't own anything anymore. Not even
you don't own anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, our web guy, Armando, who was in the chat earlier, he said his wife bought Cinema 4D after this week because he said, well, back in the day, I remember you would look and it would be just so expensive, such a barrier to entry.
$3,500.
Yeah, now it's subscription, so you can try it out for a little bit. And if you get on a good path toward where you're going, you're like, of course it's worth the money.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I think, what Maxon was going for is people just like that.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way, if you're looking at a day rate or something like that to rent Maxons, to rent Cinema 4D, it's like, yeah, that's an hour of work maybe,
Right.
And then I got it for a month,
Exactly.
You work 1 hour a month for Cinema 4D.
Yeah.
Just see it that way.
Mm-hmm. So I got 2 more links here real quick. The $500,000 that Unreal has put now toward virtual production. They're going to do grants.
Ooh.
They were doing like the regular grants. Now they're doing virtual production grants. So there's a link.
Get us on that, Dave.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, you have to sign up and tell them why you deserve that money. But one of the
just show them the Christmas episode of what we do and say we would love to make this better, using Unreal.
Yeah, the grant, I think, what's his name, Matt Workman, I'll put a link in the notes. I'll have to find that. The Facebook virtual production group, the guy who runs that, he got one of the grants. He's got a video. He kind of shows how his stuff is set up behind the scenes, his computers, all of that stuff, where the money is going. And he's on top of it. He's got a cool looking studio with all sorts of fun gadgets and real time keying, and
that's cool.
Yeah, so check that out. We're gonna do a segment now though called.
Hold on, no, I got my link.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Dave's gonna post it in the links, but our good friend Mr. Rockaforce himself.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nick Waligorski. So I don't know if I mentioned this on the show or whatever, but like I wanted to give him a shout out because this is he remade the entire opening scene from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure in cinema. Yeah. Which is awesome, And so like if you go to if you follow the link and then go to his actual like YouTube page, you can see a side-by-side comparison of what he did versus what the original was, Nice. It's super cool, especially with the 3rd movie coming out, which apparently is coming to video on demand, and I'm so super depressed about that. I feel like
why? Where else would it be?
It would be in the theater, but I wanted them to push it back. I wanted that experience of being able to go and see, the 3rd Bill and Ted movie in the theater, because I saw the first one in the theater. I saw the second one in the theater, and I was so excited for this one,
There's a side-by-side.
Yeah, is that the side-by-side? Yeah.
He says thanks, Stu's in the chat. He's
impressive.
Actually watching.
Yeah. It's very, very well done. So well done, Mr. Nick Waligorski.
Was the original graphics, or was it like an actual rotating?
I think it was an actual rotating thing, I don't know. So
nice render, bro. What render engine?
It was Octane. I know that.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna do a little thing now called Mograph Recommends, where
Can I run to the restroom?
You may.
All right.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, peer. All right, so. You know what? Real quick, I have another link I'm going to talk about real quick, and Matt's going to miss it. So I found this YouTube channel, and I would just like to put this into the notes as well. This is called Veritasium, if you haven't heard of it before. This scientific, educational YouTube channel blows my mind, and these videos, if you just put them on and just completely nerd out, it's hours and hours of scientific entertainment. I want to go back and just watch every single video because it's just that good. And there was one in particular that came up the other day where he was trying to figure out, could you get audio of a room from video? So, for example, could you take something somebody shot that has no audio on it and get audio based on the video? And I was like, there's no freaking way. So he takes it to this dude who has all these algorithms to figure all this stuff out, and he does a simple tune as a file, and he puts that tune onto like a little Bluetooth speaker, and on top of that he puts a little foil character. Now they were able to play that tune and record that on a camera and take these slight level values and somehow subtract the noise and take the slight value changes from that foil character and filter it out, and then pull the actual audio from those light changes to recreate the audio that was in the room. So
This is wild.
it's insane. And then he has stuff about black holes, and he's got stuff about parallel worlds, parallel universes. So good.
What is this?
So good. Veritasium. This incredibly nerdy YouTube channel, because I gotta say, I'm really tired of going to YouTube, right, and or Netflix or whatever, and there's a million things on like black holes and parallel universes and all that, and every time you watch them, it's the same basic story, because every single one of those is made for somebody who doesn't know what a parallel universe is. And I've always been like, okay, these scientific TV shows aren't scientific enough for me, because it's the same thing every time. Okay, I know what a black hole is. I want you to dig even deeper and give me math and give me formulas and really, really nerd out. Make me not understand it so that I have to then go back and research it. That's the kind of science video I like. I don't need to hear, oh, a parallel universe could exist. There could be another you. You could be president in a parallel universe. Like, I get that. I want to know why.
You don't want the parallel universe where I'm the president.
But there is one, apparently. You should watch this video, but it's not you. It's a different version of you.
Well, of course.
It goes all over.
It's a cooler
talks
version
about
of
Schrodinger's cat and
me.
Schrodinger's render.
Is this was this an answer to one of the Mograph
No,
recommends?
this was a link that I was going to show.
Yes.
Oh, this was a link I was going to show and I forgot. So now we're to Mograph recommends. Do you need to go pee again?
Recommends. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going now. It's
All
okay.
right. So the first thing we're going to ask you is, what is your current or all-time favorite movie?
There's a bunch. I mean, I don't know, for some reason the one that comes to mind right now is Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
I think it's super fun, and the way it's it's almost like breaks the fourth wall during the movie. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the premise is super good. It's a bit dark, on the dark end of things, but yeah, it's fun. I liked it. It's really well done. And he plays an absolute insane role in the movie.
I've heard good things about it. I will see it one day.
My daughter
I like
and I.
Pedro's response on the chat said, idea for the show after the favorite plug-in question, ask for favorite conspiracy theory. we could do favorite life hack / conspiracy theory.
Yeah, what is your favorite conspiracy theory? Do you have one?
Oh, you're asking.
Yeah. Do you have one? Does I didn't know if he was just saying that as far as like in general, or if maybe there's an inside joke or something there. Did you have a conspiracy theory or something?
I don't know. If there is, I don't remember. I mean,
anything cute.
I would have to think now, but don't know. I don't usually take part. I'm very cynic when it comes to all of these things, so I don't.
Me too.
I don't quite like partake in the conspiracy theory stuff. I mean, there's, yeah, I don't know.
Matt thinks I like conspiracy theories
so much
that I believe
UFOs, chemtrails.
Yeah, chemtrails. The chemtrails and what else? Pizzagate, all of that stuff, right?
The reptilians. What about, I like the reptilians.
What about Adobe purposely making their software easy to pirate so that people will use it?
Oh, there you go.
That's kind of a conspiracy theory.
There you go.
I like it. It's good. My daughter and I have been watching Napoleon Dynamite on loop after this weekend because she saw it for the first time, and I was like, I don't know if she's gonna like this dry humor or not. It's one of those things, and she's just to the age where it makes sense and it's funny now. So this is, she says it's her new favorite movie, and we've been watching it over and over and quoting it. And I was learning all about it and how they shot it and all these insider information.
Yeah, it was a really low budget, right?
Yeah, you know, he got paid the Napoleon Dynamite
like $1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hmm.
Your mom goes to college. That's where it's pretty good, I guess, at the end of the show comes from. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, he doesn't even really say it like that. He says it differently, but
it's pretty good, I guess.
Over time, my friends and I would say that for years, just walking around on tour on the road. And so I started doing that. So it's a variation of what he says. Let's see. Music. What's your favorite music? In general and to work to, if they're different.
I know nothing about genres of music. I think I listen to pretty much everything under the sun, maybe besides like reggaeton. I don't enjoy that for some whatever reason.
Nobody does. It's okay.
I do listen to a lot of video game soundtracks because really nice to work to. I mean, they're like specially made to get you in the mood, in the zone, and all that. So
right now, are you talking like in an 8-bit kind of way or a Halo kind of way?
No, a Halo. There's one game. It's called Nier Automata. It's like the story is just crazy, awesome in a very Japanese way, and the soundtrack is insane. It's so beautiful and has every kind of moment. So I listen to that a lot. I have a playlist too from this guy. It's a bit of a story, but when I was in Tanzania on one of these travels, he was a bus driver, but he had the most fire tunes of everyone I've ever met. Like his bus SD card that he would plug into the radio player was like insane. I asked him for could I copy the music? So I have now a playlist. None of the songs have a title. I wouldn't know where like
you'd have to
song number 1,
all.
song number 2.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would pop up, honestly. But yeah, it's super fun. And then also because they don't have lyrics, I don't have don't get distracted by the lyrics.
Yeah.
A bit of a way, which is
that makes sense.
And is that
I never
is that what you like to listen to just in general and when you're working or
not in general when I'm I don't know, a lot of maybe like game soundtracks. There's this producer called Sue, I think it's pronounced Jew. He does like a lot of electronic music, super catchy. Maybe some like rap music gets me into a zone, but Spanish rap music.
Okay.
I can just like go on while I'm working. I don't know, literally everything under the sun.
You probably.
I mean, I have
French Monkeys stuff then.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I've listened to a couple of his songs. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot very not known. I don't have any like mainstream stuff, if that even means anything these days.
And what about TV shows?
I'm watching right now Snowpiercer.
It's the second person to mention Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. For some reason I watched before this Sons of Anarchy. And God, that's like 7 seasons of. I mean, I don't want to offend anyone. It's 7 seasons of. It's like a soap opera, like American soap opera.
Yeah.
But after that, just watching Snowpiercer and seeing everything happen episode by episode, like there's plot advancements and stuff develops every episode. It's quite refreshing, and I'm really enjoying it right now.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary right now on the Bulls on Netflix right now, and I'm not a sports person, but it is a great documentary, by the way, if anybody's looking for something like that.
I started watching. I restarted Doctor Who just recently because
restarted from what date though?
From the 9th Doctor. So the new Doctors, from
because there's stuff that goes back that wasn't even recorded, right? Like there's episodes there's no archives of it, so old. Yeah.
But I mean, they with HBO Max now has all the Doctor Who series, and I haven't seen, like, I never finished the Peter Capaldi series and into the new actress who plays the Doctor. And I'm very excited to see that, but I feel like I don't know, I want to revisit the Doctor, and so I've started back with episode 1, with Christopher Eccleston, and it's like I forgot how much I really enjoyed Doctor Who.
Oh, this is interesting. Kevin mentioned Breaking Bad or The Wire.
I really like Breaking Bad. I think that it's a very well thought out show. I think it's super exciting to watch. I watched. It's funny because I watched back in the day when the 5th season was coming out. I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season and the whole of the last season, and watched nothing in between. I just
that's funny.
Kind of like caught up with what
that was
happened.
me with Game of Thrones.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
you
I watched like the first couple
part.
Episodes, and then I watched the last episode. I didn't see anything in between.
Oof, I think I will save you on this one, and then just don't.
Yeah,
watch maybe the first 6 or 7 seasons, but the 8th one is kind of like.
Yeah.
But I did end up watching the entirety of Breaking Bad. Yeah, I did really like it. I haven't watched The Wire though.
What about podcasts? You listen to podcasts?
Yeah, when I was traveling, I used to listen to podcasts a lot. I mean, the part that they don't tell you when you're traveling going up a mountain is there's like your daily routine is 6 to 12 hours of walking every day.
Gosh.
So
Oh man.
You gotta battle your demons.
And did you have a camera on at that time?
Oh, dude, yeah, like camera plus lenses plus like sometimes.
But were you actually shooting while you were hiking or while you were walking?
I mean, you gotta make a video out of the whole thing.
Ugh.
It's not.
I can only imagine you can, shoot like 30 minutes of walking or 20 minutes, and you're like, I don't need any more of this. This is all just walking.
Oh well, I mean, sometimes it does. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a thing. You record for a while and you get like 2 minutes of something. Sometimes you have to. It's tricky when you get to like high altitude points.
Yeah.
Everything is super difficult, and sometimes I would have to. I mean, there was this one time that we got to the summit of Kilimanjaro. The thing is, you get to sort of a marker, a checkpoint, and from then on, you have like the last maybe 200, 300 meters till you get to the summit. But those 300 meters take almost just as long as the previous 6 hours. Because you gotta like take a step, breathe twice, take another step, and usually they only let you stay at the summit for around like 15 minutes, and they just bring you down. They're like, okay, you're done. Let's go back and let's rest. The thing with being the cinematographer and the photographer is that I had to wait for everyone there to arrive.
Whoa.
Which, it's not fun. The last thing you want to do once you get to the summit is to just stay there for a long period. But I mean, on hindsight, it was really fun, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
If somebody offered me the opportunity to do that again, I would probably think twice right now.
Yeah.
It will really drain you more. It's not hard physically to do. It's got its challenges. I think more people can do it than they probably think they can. But mentally, it does take a toll on you. It like you get to the worst of you when you're going up there. And I had all the pressure of having to get to the summit, because many people don't get to the summit. But the whole pressure of I have to go there because it's my job to record people up there. So that was.
So were you like jumping ahead of everyone, making sure that? Wow, man,
it's
all right.
It paid off though. I don't remember what the question was. Sorry.
Podcast. What were the?
Yes.
What did you listen to while you were doing that?
I listened to this really funny one. It was called Adventure Zone.
Oh yeah.
It's about the McElroy brothers.
Oh yeah.
It's Dungeons and Dragons, but they play their own characters. I had.
So good.
If somebody saw me at that time, they would have thought I'm crazy. I was just laughing by myself, just walking. I'm like, altitude's just really gone into Rolando right now, but it's just not. I was listening to that podcast for hours.
So good. Like my brother and me is their original, and Matt and I actually went and saw them live in Dallas.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, that was fun.
That's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, they're great.
That Adventure Zone, I really like that one.
Were you listening to other comedy stuff too, or are you getting into more like news stuff, like NPR type stuff? Or
No, I listen to a bit more comedy stuff. I think I listened to one about like some crime and mystery murder thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Serial? Was it Serial?
I can't remember. Like the thing is with all of those ones, I would listen to a couple of episodes and just drop it. And the only one
Yeah.
that really like caught me was the Dungeons and Dragons one because it's like a
Yeah.
story that
So
you follow
funny.
and it's not episode by episode. It's more of a continuous thing.
Mm-hmm. And
But
then, yeah. So is that it for podcasts?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really have to go into my library and see if there's anything else that pops up. Obviously, the Mograph.com postcard I've listened to a couple of times.
Thanks.
In the past, yeah.
Of course. What
Just
about
to hear how terrible it is,
Yeah.
right?
what about plugin? What's your favorite plugin?
Oh, I think if you asked me maybe a month ago, I would have said Forester for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got Quad Remesher, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
holy, yeah, that like I love it. It's so good. I mean, obviously it won't replace 100% just manually retopoing something, but for the kind of stuff that I do, it's such a godsend. Honestly, I can just volume model anything and just put it through the Quad Remesher, and then just pop out something, especially for simulations and all of that, where you want to be careful with not just the amount of polygons, but also how they're distributed. Like you have too many triangles, or you have too many squares, or polys. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, Forester is one of my favorites as well. I think that if you go beyond the default, if you go beyond the default plants and flowers and all of that, there's such a world to explore. You can just customize anything in any way, make your own stuff.
I need to get the add-on packs. I really want the add-on packs for it.
I have the second one, the bushes and flowers and stuff.
So it's
super
worth
pretty.
it?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, all the materials are RefShift materials, so that takes an extra step out of having to convert and all that.
All right. Cool. Let's see. Headphones.
I have the Sony, what are they called? WMX something. Are
they noise canceling?
Yeah, the noise canceling ones. I think it was actually my first treat as a freelancer. Was like I was at an airport flying, and then I just saw them, and I was like, oh, I could totally buy this right now. And they do make a difference. Like going on an airplane with noise canceling headphones.
Oh, it's the best.
Yes.
It's okay.
It is the best. Man,
I get such a migraine from flying anyway. You know, like whatever.
Put on a face mask and headphones and just go to sleep under a blanket on a plane. It's the best.
I have to fly in like a month and a half, and I upgraded my ticket to first class. It only was like an extra $100, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. You know, I don't want to be crammed in there next to a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
At least you only have two people or one person next to you instead of being crammed in with it. They're still
and I'm in the
people
back
in middle
of first
seats.
class, so I don't have anyone behind me either.
That'd be nice.
I saw an article that said United Airlines is now going to be adding like HEPA filters or something like that inside all their planes, which will filter out like bacteria and viruses.
Filters.
And it's like, well, it said they're now going to be doing that. And it's like, well, why haven't you been doing that from the beginning?
But there's a whole, I don't know. I don't know if that's 100% like, because their planes already have HEPA filters on them. It's a huge filtration system. I actually heard it's actually a not bad of a place to be on a plane because of the way they filter. The problem is when they're cramming you next to somebody and putting people in those middle seats, it still can go from the person next to you to you. You know, you might not get a virus from the person in the front row, but you might get it from the person next to you. So I think it's more about who's nearby you. So that being first class is probably going to help you quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. What is your go-to app when you pick up your phone? Muscle memory, always open it up.
I'm going to guess Instagram.
Right.
No, actually. I mean, mostly because recently I haven't been that active posting. But I mean, I've been getting into chess recently, so I think when I wake up in the morning, I always play like 1 or 2 games of chess.
Nice.
Just,
That's
like,
cool.
Wake up. Yeah. It's cool when you win. It's cool when you win.
Yeah.
It's infuriating when you lose.
Yeah.
You take it very personally. And then I guess beyond that, I think Reddit is an app that I frequent a lot.
Yeah.
For both good and bad, I think that everyone
picks.
could spend a little less time in social media and that stuff, but it's also nice. I mean, depending on what you're subscribed to, you can sort of keep up with news and stuff. And I'm subscribed to a lot of 3D stuff, 3D subreddits too, so that's fun to watch as well.
I have found that Reddit is also highly left-wing biased, you know, and it is hard to get some sort of even, you know, understanding of what the general populace thinks, you know, based off of Reddit alone.
Yeah. But I mean,
which
in that
is
sense, so is my circle, really.
I mean, that's me as well. But like hearing everyone say, "Oh, Trump's gonna lose," you know, blah blah blah, and it's like,
maybe.
I don't know. I sure hope so. Yeah.
If anything, I think Reddit has made me like super cynic in the sense, like whenever there's an argument, there's always a counter argument to that.
Yeah.
So I like to just read through various opinions and all of that. So there's never like a clear set in stone thing. There's always like a couple of points of view to it. But I mean, as a European, a lot of the stuff doesn't apply to me in terms of
you're very lucky.
US politics. I mean, I'm following. I know what's up.
He's so happy you don't live in this country.
Well, I mean, I would love to eventually. I didn't want to leave the U.S. when I was there. But
wait until we have better leadership.
Yeah, I think that's a must.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot on Reddit because I just don't want to get on Facebook. You know, so it's like I'll go to Reddit pics or something and scroll through photos.
Yeah, I've completely nuked Facebook from my days, really. I mean, that happened actually in the 2016 elections, I think that before.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like what you were saying, sort of, because when Trump won, I had a lot of friends on Facebook that started like shit talking. And so like it all just became too much to handle everything. And then since I left it, I think it's been just super nice. I think it's not, it can really drive your day, what you read online, and
it really can.
It can make you feel awful, and then even if you set it aside, you still feel bad for some reason.
You post something positive that you're excited, and then Jeremy comes along and starts, you know, talking crap on your Facebook.
Our ongoing gag now. Okay, now here's the tough one. This is your favorite life hack, and I'll give you the example. Mitch Myers says
favorite life hack or conspiracy theory.
You turn the toaster on its side for some bomb-ass grilled cheese.
I don't even know how to clean that after. What does he do?
How would you clean it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the tray.
I don't know,
right?
if you do it right, it won't really get anywhere. So,
I still feel like you could fit 2 pieces of bread in there.
Yeah, I mean,
and you want to butter each side too.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
You're gonna get butter like spilling. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, God, I don't know. It's so hard to think about.
Yeah.
If there's anything I do on the daily, I think I'll pick the conspiracy theory one. I'll go with the Adobe one.
I like that.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think that's cool. Did y'all see the latest Mograph memes? One where it's Andy dropping Woody from Toy Story, and it said, what was it? It was like something like, when you grow up to
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore. And it's he's dropping Blender.
Oh, that's funny.
Really, yeah.
I did see one that was talking about how great the Siggraph presentations were, though. That was nice.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got on the notes for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolando, thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. If people want to find you online, where's all the places?
Just head to my Instagram, I think. I mean, I think people don't take enough advantage of actually messaging people they look up to. I did when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I was messaging people and being like, hey, how did you do this? Hey, can you help me out with this thing? And you start to create a network, and maybe just I think something that the Mograph community has that the film industry doesn't in that regard is just people being nice to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very blanket statement, but I think that from what I've seen and heard, that's
yeah. The film industry sucks. They're all mean to each other.
yeah, no, but I mean, for me, changing from film to Mograph, it was really nice to see all of these Slack communities and channels and everyone helping each other and just sharing tips and tricks for free. Or
sharing things and being nice to each other and optimism and constructive criticism. Imagine that.
Yeah. So by all means, feel free to reach out to me over Instagram or email if you need anything.
Cool, man.
Cool. Well, you can rate us on iTunes. You can leave a review. Also, subscribe on your podcatcher of choice to help get our ratings up. The newsletter should be coming here pretty soon. I'm just waiting for a few more things to be finalized so that I can put it in the newsletter. But subscribe to that on the website, mograph.com. There's tons of fun stuff to look at on there as well. So check that out. We got some, hopefully, in the near future, some changes coming to the site too, which I think people will like. And merch, you got the Mograph logo tee. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee. Paul Babb, Feel the Babb 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders, the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee. And the That Render Is Fire shirt, which you can only wear ironically. Unless you're Shams. She gets free pass because she actually she doesn't say it ironically. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com. Check us out on all the things. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the tutorials. Check out the sculpting tutorial that Matt's got out there. Check out the Houdini tutorial that Mark put out there. There's tons of stuff to look at now, and there's more coming.
Yep.
More on the way. Check out the What Render Engine video. TheBestRenderEngine.com.
TheBestRenderEngine.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are going to get out of here. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Rolando. We'll be talking to you on the interwebs. We'll get you. Are you on our Slack?
I think I was at some point. Yeah. I'll join.
If you were at some point, then you still are.
Yeah.
Probably,
we'll get you on there if you're not. That'll be fun. So we're going to get out of here. Till next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Rolando.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.